All right, greetings, soul fam, beloveds. Welcome to Muse and Magic 1111. Thanks for stopping by my channel for yet another deep dive into your tarot journey. My name is Aisha, also known as Goddess. I am coming to you from reading for you from Bay Area, California. I am your okay, I cannot speak today. I am your local spiritual advisor, muse, workshop facilitator, author, homeschool mom, and so much more. So we're going to go ahead and just get into these messages. What was just playing was the instrumental for Leon Thomas, Breaking Point. There is a message for you. Look it up on whatever streaming service you subscribe to. Again, this is Leon Thomas, Breaking Point. And listen to the lyrics. That is part of your message. There's a message in that song for you if you are watching this video. So this is a general reading. This is for all signs. This is mostly just a relationship reading. I'm not going to get into finances here today. Just going to tell you what's on the wind right now. Between the energies of you and your person, whoever you're thinking about. It could be twin flame, soulmate, ex, current, okay? But this is what you need to hear because there are no mistakes, no happenstances. If you stumbled across this video, honey, it's for you, okay? Again, I will leave this in the description box, all the information that you need about who I am, who Muse and Magic is, one of my many businesses. I am a serial entrepreneur, honey, okay? But I also host workshops and retreats. I do have a silent retreat coming up this Saturday near Sonoma, okay? We'll be at a hot springs, and all that information, again, will be listed in the description box. I do also have a tantric workshop. It's a sacred healing workshop that I will be facilitating, and this is coming up in April. So stay tuned for that and keep checking back on the website because I will list the date as I settle upon it very soon, okay? Again, just keep checking back. I know sometimes I'm very last minute because I like to do a lot of pop-up events or whatnot, but just keep checking back. I promise you there will be information there on upcoming events. Oftentimes there is a vetting process, if not oftentimes, all the time, there's a vetting process. If I know you, I know you. If I don't, I have to get to know you because these are very sacred, personal, intimate events. And just anyone can't just come, okay? So these are people who I deem ready and really open. You're not coming to be curious, you're coming to be healed, okay? So like Jesus, I don't have time to juggle, okay, and play court jester to people who are just coming because they're curious. Okay, so again, that's the vetting process. Okay, so we're just going to get into these messages. That was Breaking Point again by Leon Thomas. And I don't know, Spirit just had this song on my heart for like a week when I knew that I was going, well, I won't say a whole week, but like the weekend since like Thursday or Friday of last week. Because I knew I was going to record this between Sunday and today. Today is Monday, March 2nd, is it not? Yeah. And so I just knew that I was going to do this reading, and I always go into like this meditative state where for a few days I'm just kind of like absorbing whatever spirit brings to me energetically so that I know what needs to be said. And either songs will come to me signs and symbols, animals, like various different ways that universe is always communicating. And so um, that was one of the songs that was really just coming up on repeat. Every time I turn like on a playlist or something, this song would come up. And there's another song that I, for some reason, have been just singing in my head. I haven't sang this song in my head in a long, long time. Um, it's an old school song. It's by Denise Williams, and it's from her Let's Hear It for the Boy album. And it's called I Want You. Um, I won't play it for you. Well, I could play it for you. Let's see if I can, but I don't know. Every time I try to do that and and I can't hear how it's translating to the computer. So I know I recorded some videos last week that I actually posted for Aquarius and just a general, I think it was, but the sound was just really crappy because I was trying to record from a sideward view, so I'm not sitting right in front of the camera. Sometimes I don't want to always be in front of the camera, okay? Sometimes I just feel driven to like do a reading and it's like I won't do it because my hair is all over the place. To me, this is all over the place. To you guys, maybe not, but to me, this is all over the place because I've had it in the scrunchie. I put it down and it's just falling everywhere to me. And I have no makeup, and sometimes I may just have on my robe and I don't want to get dressed for the camera. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to sit up in front of the camera with my robe on either. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's a different series. I don't know. My house coat and my cup of tea. But I'm still a lady. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be on camera just looking any kind of way. So I get that from my mom and my dad. And because they were the type of people who just would not allow it. You're not going outside in your pajamas. You're not going outside barefoot, with your feet looking any kind of way. You're not going outside with your hair all over your head, and you're definitely not going outside with rollers, okay? So that was just a no-no. Like, you go outside on point. You get up and you clean up on Saturdays. You get dressed. You put your face on. You do all the things because you never know who's going to stop by, who you might have to entertain. It might be Jesus, okay? And so that's how I was always raised, and that's where I am right now. So nothing's changed. I'm still that person, even though I am evolving, okay? I still want to be girly girl. I still want to be put together, okay? So here I am in front of you, plain face, no makeup, hair to me all over the place, but whatever. And also because my hair is curly, it does some weird things sometimes. Like it could look, fairly managed in the morning. And then by, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon after I'm running around or I go walk the marina. And now, because I don't wear like a lot of gel and stuff in my hair to kind of freeze it in that state, I can come home and look like I have like this crazy afro. I'm being funny, but you know what I'm saying? Like this crazy, mismanaged, untamable afro. Half curly, half poofy. I'm being funny, but kind of like that. So I'm just always very much one of those people who wants to be on point. And I feel like I'm saying this to you because it's relevant to someone, just optics, what your relationship looks like to others, what you look like and how you show up and appear to others. Like it's important to you that things look manageable and tamed and well put together, the package, you know what I mean? So take that again, how it resonates, because everything is a part of the reading. So someone here is returning. Someone is trying to get back to you. Okay, this is someone who wants a second chance or some type of an opportunity to make amends with you. And there's like this thing of pottery. Okay, and if you know anything about pottery, I don't sculpt or anything, but it's to be sculpted. You use these different tools that can shape, clay into anything you want it to be. A dish, a glass, a vase, whatever, or some type of an object, something beautiful, whatever. And this is a person who wants a second chance at turning this relationship into something beautiful. I feel like after mismanaging the tools, after having wasted a bunch of clay, just finally feeling like, man, it's time to start honing in and start focusing on what I'm doing, start holding my hands a certain way, start paying attention to the dips and the grooves and the roundedness and whatever, the shape that this is taking. You know what I mean? This person has been rather withdrawn, so maybe very silent for some time or withdrawn from the situation or from you. This is someone who is either single now or lonely. You know, even if they're not single, you can be in a house full of people, honey, and still be alone. Okay? Feel very lonely in a crowd of folks and still feel alone. In fact, if you're Scorpio, that's when you feel most alone, is when you're around a whole bunch of people that you don't even vibe with, because you're in a space right now where you just don't. And I'm speaking of you. Okay, even if you're not Scorpio, you're just the type of person right now where you've done a lot of work to heal from the past. You've done a lot of work to break away from those old molds, right? Speaking of this pottery, those old molds, you're over it. You're over the past. You're over old paradigms and old ways of thinking and doing things. You're over it. And so when you're in the crowd amongst the masses who typically all have the same view of a thing, the same reactions, they're moon blinked, which is about 97% of people on the planet seemingly. You know, you just don't vibe. And so you can feel most alone in a crowded space because those are just not your people, right? They're not your people. So this is someone who's feeling single and alone. Or if they're not single right now, they're just feeling lonely and they're seeking solidarity. This is someone who is literally craving you, aching you, like I feel their loins swelling at the thought of you. I'm using old school words. You know, that's your mama word, loins. But I literally feel someone swelling at the thought of you. I literally feel someone's hoo-ha VJ fluttering at the thought of you if you're a masculine. This is someone who is wanting you. See? No happenstances, no accidents, because I forgot to start telling you about this song. Let me find it if I can. But it's by Denise Williams. I Want You. Help me, Spirit. She says, I saw a man today. I saw a man today. He looked a lot like you. He brought back the memories of feelings we once knew. My senses play tricks on me, for they're long overdue. I know what this feeling is. I want you. We met very casually, or so it seems. A sly conversation was a part of Cupid's scheme. One dance in the full moonlight, one touch of a dream. I know what this yearning is. I want you. Do 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 do. Come go away with me and wrap me in desire. Come unto me, my dear, and then put out the fire. Let's go to the land of love. Watch the sunrise draw nigh. I know what this feeling is. I want you. I'm trying to find it, guys. Oh, here we go. Let's see. And I'll let you listen for a bit. I hope this transfers right. If it doesn't, forgive me, because I can't hear it. until after I record this, and we're already, you know, 16, 17 minutes in. You know what I mean? I'll do this over. Okay. But this is when music, man, just held a certain frequency, and you just knew people were singing from their soul, like they meant what they were saying. You know, they had experience behind these words. Guys, listen for a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to stop it there. Give me a second, you guys. Another disturbance. I'm sorry. my God, I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm gonna have to get up one more time just to make sure I close my door. It's a lot going on. But that just is an indication of, like I said, just long bouts of silence. I hope you're able to hear this song though in its entirety and the words came out clearly. But if you didn't, I've already kind of sang them for you. So um, that's my door. Let me just go lock it, guys. Hold on. All right, my apologies. Y'all bear with me. You already know. I've already gave my disclaimer. There's just no way I do readings with no disruptions and disturbances or whatever because that's just how my house is set up. Okay, there's always something going on. Um, so yeah, this is someone who's been resisting, someone who's aching, craving, wanting you badly. But this person has been in a little bit of a resistance energy. You know, they've been secretly admiring you from afar, and suppressing their feelings. You know, part of this could be because they're somewhat timid or shy about coming back around, coming forward, not knowing the right things to say, not knowing how to approach the situation. But they do recognize that you represent for them. I think about Sammy. He has a song, Peace. Can you be my peace? And I feel like this person senses that, or not even senses, they just know that you bring them balance, you bring harmony to any relationship that you're in, but especially in the relationship you have with them. Um, it was more than just a relationship, it was also a friendship, a kindred, you know, spiritedness of sorts, you know, in this situation where you just felt like it felt like you opened their heart. You feel like whatever you make them feel like, it's like their heart is in it. You know what I'm saying? Their heart feels it. You know, it's like your heart chakra is just. There's this story in the Bible of Mary when she was pregnant with Jesus, and then she hasn't felt the baby for months. She hasn't felt Jesus move in her belly for months, but she goes to visit her friend, Elizabeth, her best friend. It may be her cousin. I don't know. Maybe they were relatives. I can't remember at this point. But she goes to visit, and as soon as Elizabeth comes into the room, or as soon as she, you know, enters and comes in the same space with Elizabeth, her baby leaves. She talks about the baby leaping. It's like baby Jesus was, you know what I'm saying? Not revived, but just kind of, you know, just aware that he was in the presence of a beautiful soul, okay? Someone who understood, someone who saw Mary, who saw him for what the situation really was, who knew the truth, who ignited their souls, you know? And so this person feels that way about you, you know, like you're just very empathic. You know, you make them very vulnerable. You make their heart vulnerable, excuse me, with open heart here. Okay. Someone might actually wear a heart-shaped necklace or some type of a um necklace with some type of a blue crystal or something like that, or some type of maybe even a heart colored or shaped crystal. When I say heart, I just think of, you know, like pink, you know, that type of thing. This could be rose quartz, it could be lapis lazuli with the blue, it could be um this could be turquoise actually. But yeah, you're someone who makes them vulnerable. Now, there was some type of an attachment here going on. There was some type of an influence, a third party influence, or either influence of peers. But there was someone influencing the decisions of this person and this withdrawal that they basically had, you know, that from you. All right. But it ended up making them feel trapped in the end, very bound, very tied down and held captive. One, like they couldn't be themselves. And again, trapped from being able to crave and ache and want you, which I think actually kind of did the opposite. You know, when you try to trap someone, and I almost get this feeling of someone giving an ultimatum, you know, someone, you know, this third party situation giving an ultimatum, this person had to make a decision. Even if that ultimatum wasn't verbally spoken, it was like, you know, how, you know, like, guess what, I'm pregnant. Or, guess what, I'm moving. Or, guess what, I'm leaving forever. Unless you know, just one of those kind of things. And so, it made this person leap into action, which was what was wanted. However, this person ended up stuck, tied down, held captive by their own thoughts and their own wanting and yearning for you, because they thought that by making this decision, you were going to go away. You did go away physically, but here and here, you didn't leave of no fault of your own. This was just their longing and craving and their connection to you. You know what I'm saying? You never went away. So, this is someone who kind of felt like, they were, honestly, they really felt like they were in despair, sinking, falling apart here, hopeless about this situation, especially why they kind of admired from afar, especially now especially why they're being very timid, and why they're still somewhat suppressing these feelings, right? This is ecstasy. This is that you literally are ecstasy personified. That's what I want to say. You represent excitement, chasing thrills. And I feel like maybe that's what they were doing in the beginning, chasing what they thought was a thrill, chasing excitement. The fun girl, the fun guy. I almost want to say the F girl, the F guy. You know what I mean by that. And it was a good time, but there was no real in-depth connection. There was no real soul tie. There was no real substance or sustenance behind this connection, right? I almost want to say this person was being greedy. It's like the story about the dog, who has a bone in his mouth, and he goes to the river and he sees the dog with the bone in his mouth. He drops his bone in the water, going for the bone, being greedy in the water, and that was just an illusion. You know what I'm saying? It was just an illusion. It was just a mirror. Hello? Message, right? So this is someone who's coming back to offer an apology. Wanting to come back and offer an apology and ask for forgiveness, but they're wanting to return and say, I'm sorry. Like, this is someone who's literally been praying that you open your heart back up for them, even if it's just for a friendship, even though that's not what they want. But just to be friends, I'm just hoping I didn't fuck shit up too much. Okay? Because there's been separation here. There's been distance and space. There's been blockages. And this person is just literally just almost like daydreaming, trying to figure out what it's going to look like when they come back, if they come back, and they are. But what is that going to look like? How am I supposed to act? What am I supposed to say? I don't want to fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, that's literally what they're going through. This is about lightening your load. They're going to come back asking how they can lighten your load, how they can support you in your talents or in your business, whatever you're doing. This is someone who has been doing a little bit of healing on their own, but who sees that you've been healing. And that's the attraction. You've healed. You know what I'm saying? You've healed. You're very passionate about your own personal healing and very passionate about you. Okay? This is a green stone here. So this is heart chakra. You've been doing the work to heal, which makes you really attractive and beautiful on the inside and the out. This is someone who sees that you set boundaries. That's attractive. And maybe they've had to learn how to set a few of their own and heal even on their end of things. Okay? But you're about your you're about your well-being, and now they're wondering about your well-being. They're concerned and wondering because they're not attached to you in any way or in communication with you. Or you're not allowing them in enough if they're around, to know what's really going on with you. But this is definitely, you tapping into your own psychic abilities, and continue to do so that you know where boundaries need to be set. Okay? Pay attention to your own psychic abilities. And yes, this is about reconciliation. Someone who's really coming back. I mean, I almost want to say coming back with a vengeance. But what I mean by that is just coming back like intentional. I'm coming back and I got to have my shit tight. I got to have my shit together because I cannot fuck this up again. Yeah, because you feel like home. They're coming home, baby. Okay. Man, those are your messages, beloved. I feel like that's the perfect place to stop. And all you're getting get understanding. Okay. And all you're getting get understanding, and just know that love is the highest vibration of all. Love brings change. Love brings change. Love heals all wounds. I mean, that's it and that's all. This person loves you. They did not know that at first, or they did know it at first, but that's what made them feel vulnerable, and that's what made them pull away. They were afraid of loving you. And I feel like for someone, it was like, I keep going on this merry-go-round. I keep falling in love. I think this person is falling in love with you every time they're in your presence. Falling in love over and over again. And, yeah, something makes them very afraid of that. This is a person who wants to tell you that, you know, he or she is not sure if the situation will ever change. That's the indecisiveness, you know. Knowing that their inability to decide in the past has really hurt you, um, and knowing that and feeling like you're like better than they are, you're a better person than they are. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're just they've always felt unworthy of your love. Okay. This person is still trying to grow up. They still have hope, but they're actually still growing. They're still growing relationally, like how growing in maturity as far as relating. And they know that they let their ego get in the way of the connection. You know, ego is not always about being very boisterous and very confident and very, you know, conceited or anything like that. Ego is anything we have, even the unworthiness that we feel, you know, the lack of feeling like we're enough. That's still ego. That's still something outside of you telling you what the perception is of you, of others, or how you feel like you're being perceived or will be perceived if you act a certain way or are a certain way or exist a certain way. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, someone is, yeah, you can't make this up. Daydreaming. I'm always longing for you. Somebody has literally been dreaming of you. Maybe you've had dreams of them dreaming of you. This is someone who, like I said, literally, when they think of you, they get completely turned on, and I just see someone swelling or someone's hoo-ha literally tingling at the thought of you. Okay? And this is someone who wants to have equal give and take. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to give reciprocity this time, you know? And you made me realize my flaws, and that scared me. That's what made me feel unworthy. It wasn't anything that you said or did. It was just that you were a mirror. And all of your, what they deem as perfection, all of your, oh my gosh, she's the perfect, everything, just the way she loves me is even perfect. You know what I mean? She sees me as perfect. Ooh, that can't be true. What if she finds out the flaws, my flaws, but you showed them their flaws? You know, you didn't see them, right? They saw them. You showed up and they felt flawed. Oh my God, in your presence. Yep. Unfinished business. We still have things to discuss and to resolve. And that's your message, babes. I've already gave you the outro, but I just had to see what your person was feeling. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Take this as it resonates. And until next time, I'm wishing you wellness, an abundance of health, wealth, and love. Okay? Wholeness. Bye.